Assalamu alaikum, inshallah you're well guys. So you guys know that audit is a very popular service line to begin your career. But often what happens is after you've done your 3 years in audit, people want to leave. And inshallah in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the exit opportunities. And I'm going to speak about my own experiences as well as what I've seen people in my network do. So you don't have to worry about me talking about any unrealistic opportunities. First opportunity I'm going to speak about is internal audit, which was my first move out of practice. And you guys should know I've done 2 internal audit roles in my career to date. I've worked for Ferguson PLC, a FTSE 100 company, as well as my current company, TGX Europe. And I've absolutely loved my experiences. I've had the opportunity to travel, partner with different areas of the business, and it's a very fast-paced area. Typically, internal audits last for a short period of time. I think looking back, the longest audit I've worked on is for around 6 weeks. In that time, you've got to understand the subject matter in sufficient detail. You won't be an expert, but enough to address the key risks of the audit. And through those audits, you'll develop a solid understanding of the overall business. The best thing about internal audit is you get to work on audits or with departments outside of finance. So I've worked on store audits, processing center audits. I've worked with HR, customer services, and marketing, to name just a few areas outside of finance. Now, moving to internal audit after spending some time in external audit is a very popular move. I'd say it's the most natural transition because you learn about internal controls in external audit, which is very relevant to the work you do in internal audit. The final thing I want to say about internal audit is it's a great stepping stone to move into other areas of the business. So typically people spend around 2 to 3 years in internal audit before rotating into another finance role. Next, I want to speak about rotating into other service lines, which is very popular at the top 10 accounting firms because they have large teams, a lot of work, and they're always recruiting. So popular service lines to move to include transaction services or mergers and acquisitions, which is a part of transaction services. And as the name suggests, this is where you're supporting a company through a merger or acquisition. So if you're specifically working on mergers and acquisitions, you're going to be doing a lot of due diligence, which includes verifying the accuracy and completeness of financial information to ensure it fairly represents the value of a business. Another popular service line you could go into is consulting. And like transaction services, there's many routes you could follow. Popular routes for auditors have been management consulting or tech consulting. Consulting is seen as more exciting than audit because you're seen as a problem solver. If you work in consulting, you could be helping a company implement new technology, or you could be helping a company identifying key savings opportunities. The role is project-based, and as every project will be different, your responsibilities will differ from one project to the next. Those are just some examples, but technically you could move into any service line, so long as you're happy to network with the team that you want to move into to help facilitate that move. If you want to switch service lines, then networking will play a huge part in this. And I've already spoken about the importance of networking for people who want to move during their training contract. A lot of the tips in that video will still be relevant to those who are qualified, so inshallah do check it out. Then you have your more traditional finance roles, and examples of this include accounting, commercial finance, and business planning and analysis. Accounting wasn't for me. Again, it's a very popular exit opportunity, but I couldn't see myself doing period end. I'd seen at clients how busy accountants were, and I didn't see myself producing financial statements period on period. Now, since I've qualified, my understanding of an accountant's role has improved. I'd probably say that I was misinformed when I was looking to make my first move out of practice, and now I see much more appealing roles pop up on the job market. And these roles will combine traditional accounting with analysis or business partnering. So as well as producing the financial statements, you're partnering with different areas of the business to understand the reason for variances, why performance wasn't as expected. Overall, I'd say accounting still isn't for me, but it may be for you. BPNA is where you're modeling future performance of a company, so it involves a lot of forecasting and budgeting. Commercial finance, on the other hand, involves a lot of variance analysis. So this is where you're looking at actual performance and understanding why performance was different to what was budgeted. And that's just a brief overview of each role, guys. Obviously, the day-to-day responsibilities may differ depending on the requirements of your company. Next, you have further study opportunities. So after completing the ACA or ACCA qualifications, you can go on and study for the CFA, CTA, or MBA, just to give you a few examples. I've seen people in my network pursue each one of those qualifications. The good thing about these qualifications is that you don't need to have a degree to pursue them, so they're open to apprentices as well. As an example, you don't need to have a degree to do an MBA. Many business schools will accept a GMAT score as well as your relevant work experience. And most people will study for these qualifications alongside their work. So as an example, again, with the MBA, you may study this on a part-time basis. Now, people in my network have also moved into asset management, private family offices. They've also gone into other departments such as HR, merchandising, and IT. The point is that you're not limited, and there's 2 bits of advice I want to leave you with. Firstly, make sure you're upskilling. You're learning the latest technologies so you have a transferable skill. As an example, I was recently on a Power BI course, and there were people from different departments there, not just finance. Now that tells me straight away that Power BI is a transferable skill. So make sure you learn it. The second bit of advice is before you make any move or decide on a particular career route you want to follow, ask yourself one fundamental question. If I follow this route, will the work I'm delivering have value with the outputs I'm going to produce? There's been times where I've worked ridiculous hours in industry, much more than some may do in practice, but it's been manageable because I feel like the work I'm delivering has value. If you feel like the work you're going to deliver is not going to be of value, it's probably not a career route that you want to follow. Inshallah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. As always, any questions or queries, please feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram.